most likely applies. Right, thank you, Celine. I forgot. Right. It most likely applies to other fields, especially in tech, the same way it applies to cybersecurity. And you can take that coming from someone that's done like a number of things in the tech space for the last 14, 15 years. So, what are we looking at? How do we build work experience? We've all heard, and of course, this is a common saying. Um, I want a fresh grad, entry level roles that require 2 to 3 years of work experience, or even 5 years of work experience. And everyone asks the question, where do I get that from? I'm new. I'm saying I'm entry level. You're expecting work experience. Where would that come from? For a long time I used to think, no, that doesn't make sense until again, now I know better. And in my opinion, again, this is probably the uncommon opinion. Maybe there's a reason for that, right? Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe you do need work experience. So the question is, if you don't have a job, how do you get it? Right? That's what we're here to talk about today. Is anyone here not like concerned about that? Is there anyone here that's not really concerned about how do I get work experience if I don't have a job? Or maybe we're even here for different reasons. Let me hear from you guys. Remember, it's supposed to be a conversation. Okay.
Okay. Hello, sorry, I'm Stanley.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm Stanley.
Okay. I think there are two people trying to say something. Okay, maybe if you raise your hand, we can just call you. So we've not. Okay, okay, Stanley, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for this opportunity. Well, I don't have an hour work experience in IT, but I have experience in other fields. And my first degree was civil engineering. Okay. So I think I've worked in that. I've even gone into up to the extent of assistant project manager. But when I came to Calgary, they say in some words we say we really don't know the meaning. I just said I want to go into IT. I never knew destiny has already picked it from me. You understand?
Yeah.
Though I've been doing program of project management, but I think that zeal is no longer there. So after 2 years, I started researching on IT without coding. Yes,
Okay.
because I know why when coding is coming from the west, me I'm going to the east. Yeah, so that was when cybersecurity came. So I now did lots of research on it, and I saw that yes, it's something I would really want to do. Presently, as we speak, I'm taking a certification course on a CC. You understand? Yes, CC. Hopefully, God willing, and all things being equal, before the middle of August, I'll do that. But then I've been having this. When I see some roles, and I put myself in the interview situation, I can answer those questions, but not a single hands-on experience. So what I've been doing all this while, anywhere I see boot camp, I'll just put my head free boot camp. I'll just be doing free boot camp, and the one that issues certificate of attendance, I'll just keep it for now. But how to really kickstart it, that's where I am presently.
Absolutely. And you're not alone. I tell you, you're not alone, Stanley.
So
But yeah, thank you for sharing your background and your story.
Thank you.
It's kind of a common thing, if you all agree, that a lot of people find themselves in that space. Usually in job certification, I know people that have some of the biggest certifications and they're still where you are. How do I take the next step? Does anyone else feel that? Solomon, you can go ahead and talk. I see that you want to raise your hand. Please go ahead and talk. You can just unmute and talk.
Good morning. My name is Solomon. I reside here in London, Ontario. My background is in accounting, and I'm here studying business management, though I'm going to finish in December. So I'm just trying to Stanley, I say everything now. I don't know how to kickstart, and I want to transit into cybersecurity. I have no experience, though I can answer some of the questions because I have a little knowledge base. So, but I just want to make it as a profession, just to make a living as well. And it's my passion as well. I love anything that do with IT, computers. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. So, accounting, do you have experience or you've just gone to school?
No, just
You have
out of
work
school. I didn't have experience. Yes,
So you
true.
don't have any work experience, if you would say. Would you say
I didn't have any work experience in accounting, though. I relocated here from South Africa and I have a business there, so I manage that. It's a logistic business which I do manage, and I'm using my little
okay,
knowledge base to manage. So that is just it. So I just want to go into cybersecurity because I believe I will do well in it.
okay. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. And I'll definitely come back to both of you. I don't know if there's anyone else. For the sake of time, we can move on. So, and again, we've actually started what we're here for. Part of our agenda really is to hear some of these journeys, hear from you guys. And as we get along, hopefully, both of you and others, you will be able to tell your story differently before the end of the session. Like I know you started with, oh, I don't have work experience. I don't have experience, but we'll get there. So really part of what I want us to talk about, the first thing I want us to talk about today is the experience versus the job. Which one comes first? If you see from the topic, it says the chicken or the egg, right? We want to really dig into that. And I will not be answering this question. We will be answering the question together. And then I'll try to share a little bit about my own journey. Hopefully that helps someone here today and get you to start thinking that, okay, yeah, maybe I have something here to work with, right? And then I want to hear from you. At that point, really you have stories to tell differently in that case. And then we'll talk about what really makes up work experience in cybersecurity. I've heard Francis say, oh, I want IT without code. I don't have IT background. I don't have this background. But then what makes up experience in cybersecurity? What is it we look for? Hiring managers, what do we look for when we say work experience? We'll talk about that. And yeah, Ramshay, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, DML, for always giving us this opportunity to talk and to rub minds and to also learn as well. I just want to share a bit of my own story. Perhaps some people on the call might.
Ramshay, sorry. Oh, I definitely, you're definitely one of the people I'll call to share their story because I've heard your story. It's a beautiful one. If you don't mind, I want us to go into this debate first.
Okay.
This debate around the experience versus the job.
Okay, my first thought is, I mean, how do you come to know that you don't have an experience first? I mean, how do you get
That's a
there
good question.
versus thinking about, oh, I don't have the experience versus the job? I think many times people constrain themselves by looking at maybe that 2-pager CV and they look at, this is my experience. No, that's really not your experience. It's just what you put in that document to showcase to maybe an hiring manager. I think the real thing is, have you taken a step back to harvest all what you have done in your entire life? I mean, you whatever format you want to put it in whatever way, but you will soon realize that there's really no such thing as an experience. Even as an high school, in a high school, you have some sort of experience. There are some initiatives that you probably you were involved in. There is always there's always a skill to get from those experience. And trust me, every one of us, we manage risk every day. So starting from that point, trust me, it's not a case of I don't have an experience. It's probably a case of, is my experience good enough to enter this space? I think maybe that's the question you want to be asking. And trust me, that's where continuous improvement comes in. Absolutely. I mean, everyone, we are gaining new experience every day, irrespective of the level of expertise that you are. Let me give other people a chance to also talk.
Thank you, Ramshay. Thank you so much. I see Tutu's hand up. I see Dr. Hassan. Let me start with Dr. Hassan.
So I disagree with Bamuse. He says there's no such thing as experience. I completely disagree with him. There's experience. right? It depends on what field, where did you get your experience from, right? Hiring managers are looking to I want to hear from you. I've been in IT for 15 years, to be honest. I've been in cybersecurity for 10 years, the technical aspect of cybersecurity, right? And I join almost all cybersecurity discussions to get experience, to get the knowledge, because it's an evolving field. You want to learn every day. So I see myself learning every day. That's why anything discussion on cybersecurity, I join, you understand. And if I'm discussing with people, especially I've been on even on the hiring side as well, right? Hiring entry level roles. I want to, even if you are an IT support or you are in audit or you understand, there are questions that you answer with experience. You don't have to be correct. You don't have to, but don't lie about it. Just answer the way you are, right? But if you are saying you don't have any experience, you don't have any experience, then you don't have any experience. That's you don't have any experience. But if you are answering based on, even if you are in the accounting field and you ask you a question and you're answering based on the skill you have, transferable skills you have, that is a point. But you can't say experience doesn't matter. No. Certifications get you to the hiring place. It doesn't really matter. But experience, how you answer questions, how you keep an open mind really matters a lot.
Thank you so much. And before I call in, Bamshe, because I know where Dr. Hassan is coming from. I think it's that statement. I have a feeling that's not what it meant. But Bamshe, do you want to like take less 30 seconds to respond?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Dr. Hassan, for your comment. And that's really why we are here. So I guess you misconstrued what I said. I didn't say there is no such thing as experience. Rather, what I'm saying is when someone says, I don't have an experience, I said, perhaps you want to look inwards and think that and see that you actually do have some sort of experience. It's everybody in this journey is at different stages. But the truth is, what I'm saying is and I'm more focused talking around cybersecurity, information security, risk management. So I'm saying that there's really no such thing as I don't have any experience in this. If you look inward, you'll discover that you have some sort of experience. I mean, cybersecurity, information security is so huge, you'll realize that you have probably done something at some point in time. You've just probably not sat down to look at it. So just to correct what you said, I didn't say experience doesn't matter. No, that's not what I said. I said it's just about you thinking that you don't have any experience. No, you probably have certain experiences.
I think I get you. So how to leverage what you have before for the
Exactly.
job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
I knew that's where it was coming from because again, because I know the person. So I knew we would not have said experience, but that's why I gave him a chance to react.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Thank you.
No worries at all. Okay, Tutu, please go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. Let me put my hand down. Okay, let me put it this way. I don't want to say experience doesn't matter because then people will come at me. But here's what I'm trying to say. Your experience, as much as it does matter, it's not the be all and end all. And it really doesn't matter where you get the experience from. It's a matter of how you frame the experience you have. So here's why I say that. I have experience I'll tell you where my job experience comes from. My job experience comes from working in mostly administrative roles. My first real job was in the call center. So for those that have engineering degrees and are studying business administration, you're like way ahead of me. I did go to school, obviously. I studied sociology, but today I am in cybersecurity. How did that happen? It happened through, again, as everybody else had said before, leveraging the experience that you have and really just framing it in a way that allows you the status of someone in cybersecurity. I'm not going to say it's an easy feat. It's not an easy feat, but it is not impossible to do. It's just a matter of thinking through what it is that you do have, because, and I've said this several times, I think anybody that has seen me on a call before has heard this before. If I can do it, if I can get into cybersecurity, literally anybody can get into cybersecurity. It's just a matter of how you look at what it is that you have and how you frame it. So I heard someone say that they were in accounting. I heard someone say that they have an engineering, like they studied engineering in school. Dude, if you have any of those things, you have an ace that is way, you will probably get paid more than I do. So yeah, it's just a matter of how you think about it and how you frame what it is that you do have. And what they've said before is very important. It's not just your work experience. Your volunteer experience is just as important. Your learning is just as important. If you've heard somebody at your office, and not necessarily in IT, but if you've heard someone at your office present themselves as someone that knows how to do so and so and so thing, and you feel like you can do it, do a little bit of reading on it, study a bit on it, and put yourself out there. They're not going to ask you to come and do it in the interview. I think that's another big thing that a lot of people get scared about. Or what if I can't prove it? You're not going to prove it it's not in the interview that they're going to ask you to prove it. It's when you actually start the job that you'll be expected to prove it. So if you can speak on it confidently, and that's another part of it that a lot of people, and maybe I'm talking on it because I'm a woman, but the self-confidence part of it is a huge part of getting into cybersecurity as someone that didn't have like prior experience, quote unquote. Because if you ask me, the confidence part of it is a major part of it. So even if you do have experience but you don't know how to talk about it, that's a shot in the leg for you. So learn how to speak on your experience, learn how to frame your experience in a way that sets you apart and makes you look like someone that has the kind of have the effrontery, have the confidence in yourself to stand out. And 9 times out of 10, it pays off. All right, that's my little spiel.
Tutu, they need to get trained as well. Like what Doc has been doing.
Absolutely.
Doc has been training people, right? They need to get trained.
I'm one of those
understand.
people.
Okay, good. So you're a product of Doc, right? So you need to
I'm
get
one of
trained
those
first
people.
to understand the fundamentals before you can now
Absolutely.
speak to experience. You don't want
Absolutely.
to just
Right.
jump into
You picked the word I don't know about the
Okay,
doctor.
good. I'm sorry.
I guess and I know again, I know Tutu, and I know where she's coming from. So the thing is, yes, before you can prove something, and she did talk about okay, you know what, Francis, I'll let you had your hand up for a while. I'll let you talk first. Go ahead.
I think on my own part on the issue of experience, from my knowing, whatever experience you have outside cybersecurity can always be applied to cybersecurity. Because I know of a lady. I'm Francis. I'm calling from. I'm joining from US. I know of a lady who had her PhD in music here in US, and she has worked as a music lecturer, professor in one of the universities here for almost like 3 years or 4 years. And at some point, she started feeling so bad with herself that she felt what she was doing in music as a professor was not connecting. So she attended a boot camp here in US, just a boot camp of like 2 months. She didn't write any certification, surprisingly. She just used some of these agencies that do online application for jobs, and she got like 3 different invitations for interview. One of the occasions she attended, and she was offered a job without any certification.
That's possible. It's possible.
And
again,
while she was sharing her view on her experience, it became obvious that what she applied there was her wide range of experience. You know, somebody who has gotten to the level of a professor in the university, and she's a very open person that mixes up and the rest. So I think her flows, her ability to express herself, her ability to connect things together allowed her the opportunity of also connecting the knowledge she had during the boot camp with the experiences she, maybe she also obtained in the past. So I think it's a lot of experience to go into when it comes to cybersecurity, not just the knowledge.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Francis. And again, it goes back to what Tutu, Dr. Hassan, Bamiji, what they said so far. There's a space for experience, leveraging what you already have. There's a space for learning. Even those already in the field. See, Dr. Hassan is here, he's been in the field for 10 years. He's still here learning. It doesn't matter if you have a title or not. And again, maybe the debate, the job title versus the experience, right? Is exactly what we're talking about. And it looks like everyone that's talked so far agreed that the experience and of course the business development part of that's the business development, personal development, too much business, sorry. Personal development part of it. Because that's the only way you can build the skill sets. That's the only way you can build the skill sets for you to build the connection between what you've done before or who you are and who you want to be. That's the only way you can build that connection. That's the bridge for that gap. If you don't have that, even if you get the interviews, you can't scale through because you won't even know what you're talking about in the first place. Okay, Sulia, go ahead first. Nice, you had your hand up first.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I wanted to comment on what Frances said and about the lady. She just went through boot camp. No, the learnings from boot camp from any training, it's not enough. I'm sure if you talk to the lady, she did way more than what she was taught in that boot camp. And another comment that you mentioned was that maybe because she has a PhD, she has in cybersecurity now, your education doesn't really matter, right? Like you have a PhD, of course, the kind of level of positions you can get, and that still come from experience, not the fact that you have some certain degree. And I don't know the time that she got a job and where she does not need certification, but the cybersecurity of today, you need certification. Is to show your commitment to the field. Is to boost your profile, to even get your profile in front of the hiring manager. So not having certification like the cybersecurity of today, it's it's not good for anyone's profile. So maybe like then maybe the time of COVID where organizations were just hiring and they just want to bring people in, maybe yeah, she can skate through during those time. But as for today, it's going to be very difficult. So I just wanted to put that out, and because I've seen trainings also saying you don't need certification, you don't need experience, you don't need this. And whenever I have the opportunity to just put it out there that you need this thing, if you don't want to remain the same position. Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, I guess certification for the profile, and like you said, the market is more competitive now than it was 2, 3, 4 years ago, right? And there are a few things you can do to stand out on your profile, and that would only serve on your profile. It wouldn't get you the job. You still have to prove that you're bringing something to the table. Dr. Hassan, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. So I agree with Sulia, right? I would meaning to say more about that. I'm not disputing what Francis said, right? But I agree with Sulia in the point that one, the lady is in the US, so we don't know about the demand and the supply. If the organization are looking, if there are a lot of organizations that are looking to hire, right, and you have limited candidates on ground, of course they will take anybody. Good. Now, but in a competitive environment, I don't think that lady will even get to the interview stage like Canada. I don't think you get that,
Yeah.
right? Regardless of your PhD in music or
Mhm.
whatnot. But if you are in a place where the demand and supply is not, we did economics is not balanced, right? I've seen people get jobs, hard, good paying jobs, with no experience, nothing. They can't even do the job, but they got the job, right? I've seen that, and it's common in the US. Yeah, and it's common in the US. Canada here is a competitive environment because of the number of immigrants, economic migrants in Canada, right? A lot of qualified people all over the world. But in the US, well, it's an economic country of the world. A lot of organizations are looking to hire. So things that you get away with in the US, you won't get away with in Canada. You understand? So it's better, even if, so my advice is, even if you are in the US, you're in Canada, you're in UK, regardless of what you can get away with, it's better you still, equip yourself with the right training, equip yourself with the right knowledge, and still, don't take advantage of the environment, and still, go for it, right? So I'm not disputing what Francis said, but I agree with Leah because I have the same mindset, right? So,
and thank you, Dr. Hassan again. I actually agree with everybody. Is it possible to get a job again, depending on the market, is it possible to get a job without a certification? Depending, like it really, really depends on the market. I will not say it's impossible, right? It is possible. It's going to be tough. Your first job, maybe, but to build a career, you need to pursue something. Maybe what this person did, and she didn't mention to you, or maybe she did, is that she put some certifications in progress or in view on her profile.
God bless you.
Right?
God bless you. I was about to say that.
And then that would make it, for the NTS, it would make it seem as though she has those certifications. And then she gets the interview, she's confident, like you said, she's probably confident enough to have that conversation with them. Say, you know what, I know what I'm talking about. I have this experience, forget the job title, right? And then she got the job. And then how long can she do that? She would at some point need to pass on certification. I'll tell you an interesting thing. It's not to experience anytime, but when I got into Canada about six years ago now, going to 7, yeah, interesting. Again, I came with my PhD and all of that. Some recruiters, I was talking to recruiters, I was like, oh, get the certification, get that. I didn't have certifications. I didn't have certifications. And I was like, you see my profile? I don't need certification. Oh yeah, I'll get back to you. And that's it. Of course, she never go back. Later, I was like, what's going on? That was when I realized, okay, it's a different market. Here, you need certifications. You have to. It's a different thing where, you're getting jobs through referrals, through networks, and all of those things. Yeah, even back in the UK, a lot of the jobs I did were through referrals, right? But in Canada, it's a different ballgame entirely. I had to go get into the market and get these jobs myself. So I started pursuing the certifications. So I would definitely, and Celia is talking because she went through that journey with me. She has some certifications as well. So I would definitely not throw away certifications or anything to personally develop yourself and then showcase it in the market. You definitely need that. Tutu, please go ahead.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree with what everybody has said. I feel like certifications really, what they do is just they help you figure out, if first of all, if you're sure about the career path you want to take, because certifications take time to study for. You're investing your money, you're investing your time, you're investing energy into learning about this field. So you wouldn't even want to do it if you're not passionate about it. That's the first thing, right? So as Sulia said, right, certifications just show your commitment to the field. And they know that if someone has certifications, they are less likely to leave this for the next flashy thing that comes around, right? So having certifications, first of all, is just like, it's good career-wise to the employer, but also for yourself. What it does for you now is it helps you stand out in less competitive markets. So if you as a Canadian, let's say, go into the US now, but you already have like a ton of certifications and stuff, it's a no-brainer to pick you that has like 6-7 certifications. You have your SOC 2, you have your ISO, you have your CC or CISSP or whatever. It's easy because then they just look at that and say, okay, this person probably knows, like, has a better grasp of what it is that they're doing than somebody that's just coming in like barefaced out the, like, into the market.
Yeah.
And plus, for yourself, it just helps you figure out if you're like, if that's actually where you want to be. Because there's no point spending time, energy, writing up resumes. And my God, that is one thing that you don't even want to be doing if you're not sure that you want to be there. Like, oh, anyway, that's another story for another day. But yeah, like it just helps you figure out if this is actually what you want to do. And if it is what you want to do, definitely burn the ships. Do like go for it and get your certifications, because it only makes you better. It doesn't take anything out of you.
Thank you. Okay, that's interesting. So I think I actually will, and Francis, please, I hope, are you still here?
I'm here.
Okay, so another thing I wanted to point out about going through, yes, boot camps work, and okay, we don't want to. Boot camps work. They make the learning faster. You get into the space faster than begin going through a year or 2 years of college and all of that. But what I've seen over time is a lot of boot camps, they train you for certifications, not the job. The tricky thing, and we've seen that a lot, Sulia and Tutu, you probably heard this story before. Uh, Someone that went through a boot camp, got a job with Deloitte, and then they go on the job, they couldn't do the job. The difference between going through something and building yourself, they're two different things. You have to, no matter, so the boot camp sets you on a path, show you how certain things are, or where, but then you have to do your own personal development too, outside of that. Right. It's a different thing to go through a boot camp that shows you how to do the job. It's a different thing to go through a boot camp that shows you how to pass a certification, which are two, and Dr. Hassan and other experts in the here will tell you that those are two different things entirely. Even though we're saying certification is important, it helps to showcase your value and all of that. The job and certification, totally two different things entirely. Right. Now, what happened to this person that went through a boot camp and couldn't do the job? Because one, he didn't do any self-development. Outside of that, he struggled, he got a senior role, whatever they put on the resume, which is not a bad thing to start with a senior role if you're confident, right? But he got a senior role and he started asking questions that even the juniors weren't asking. He had to give him 3 months to figure things out that were fired. So he ran to us and became, the rest is history. But Tutu, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you clarified that, because there are different types of boot camps. I have been to boot camps, not for cybersecurity, but I've been to boot camps for like people that are just trying to get you to pass the certification. And this is not a paid ad or anything or an ad, but there are different types of certifications or boot camps. They're boot camps that actually help you know how to do the job. They still help you, they help you. There's a time for passing certifications and stuff, but they're more concerned about giving you the right tools to actually be able to perform on the job. And to me, that's a lot more valuable, because yeah, you can get the certification. You can get certification by yourself, but when you get on the job, can you actually do the job? That's a whole other thing. So if you happen to be with, maybe you've tried other certifications or other, I don't know why I keep saying certifications. Maybe you've tried other boot camps that help you pass the certification. Great, good for you. But with Marshall Tech, it's a lot more different. It's a lot more hands-on. It's a lot more about how do you do the actual job. Like you get real like hands-on things, like examples. You do exercises that by the time you now start the job, you're like, oh, I can do this. And then you're having conversations with your bosses and you can meet them on their level because you've already done it in certain, like you've had the real life practice. So again, not a paid ad, but I'm just saying, if you're thinking about it, you're in the right place.
Thank you. Dr. Hassan, please go ahead.
Okay, so in my experience, guys, don't quote me, right? Let's say you have limited finances, right? And you want to go through bootcamp or some sort of training. If someone comes to me, I will advise them to go through a hands-on training, right? Than pay for a boot camp that will help you pass exams. This is where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Exams are there. You pay for these exams. This, if it's ISACA or ISC or EC Council, any exam body, they sell CompTIA, they sell these exams for you and they give you resources to study yourself, right? So I believe if you can sit down and study for these exams yourself without paying for anybody to train you and pass this exam, it is a skill on its own. It shows that you have the research skills that you will need in cybersecurity. You can sit and read for exams and pass yourself without paying anybody. But the hands-on experience, of course, you need people to train you. So you have, let's say you have $1,000 or $2,000 and say, hey, I want to either pass exams because hiring managers love it. Of course, we love it, right? But hands-on training, I say go for hands-on training. Hands-on training on its own, right? It will teach you hands-on training. But there are a lot of tools in the industry, but you are familiar with some tools. You can speak, they ask you questions, you can use that experience to speak, right? You are trained on it, but you can put yourself in the training and say, let's assume, Doc here trained me on how to do risk assessment, for example. And somebody is telling you in an interview and saying, give me a time where you do risk assessment. Between me and you, you've not done this assessment before, but you can put yourself in what Doc has trained you and pretend and answer the question as if you are the one doing that risk assessment, right? But in a typical exam is going to ask you what is risk assessment, and they'll give you 4 options, right? A is this, B is this, C is this, D is this. So someone that does an exam comes for the same interview. If I say what is risk assessment, they're only going to give me a definition of it, which doesn't answer the question, right? So hands-on, if you can read for exams yourself, it is the best. The skill you get in reading the exam for yourself without paying for bootcamp, you can't trade it for anything. Go for hands-on, pay for hands-on training, read for certification yourself, and keep applying. The skill you will see the progress, right? But you need that training. You need someone to kind of hold your hand and give you the confidence, share the experience with you, tell you how it is, and you can run back to these people self. Because my experience with bootcamp is you have a lot of I don't want to be mentioning names, there's a lot of bootcamps running around in the US, UK, everything. They have a lot of students. They train these guys, then they are done. You can't hold hands of 100 students. They move to different bootcamp. They train these guys. They pass the exams. They are done. Right? Once you pass the exams, you are done. Right? But if you go into hands-on training, somebody that can still hold your hand after your interview, you can still run to the person. And this is how my interview. You can even do interview with the person. Let's okay, go. Right? I have an interview coming up. How far? This is it. This is the job description. This is my resume. Okay, prepare like this, do like this, and do like this, and move on. You will see that even when you get the job, because I'm telling you from my experience, even on my job, I still run to some of my colleagues in my network and say, Alaye, how is this so? How do you do this in the environment? How do you do this in the environment? You still, you need that network, and it's an evolving field. You keep learning. So it doesn't stop at the exam. It doesn't stop at the hands-on training. It doesn't stop at getting the job, right? If you're in this field, you need people that are experienced, that have done things in your corner. Trust me, in your corner. You need them in your corner. So thank you very much. I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Doctor. In fact, you just said no, because I tell people this every time. No, certification. No. If you get certification, what will you do with it? You still need to do the job, right? You need to get the job, then do the job. What if you start by knowing how to do the job, so that even if it's not a formal interview, if it's an informal conversation like this, you can speak from a position of experience, and the person on the other side looks at you and says, "Oh, this guy is an expert. I want to." But maybe something will show up, or if something shows up, they know they have an expert on that they can refer to that opportunity. So for me, I agree with you. I agree with Tutu and everybody else. There are some questions in the chat. I know we've gone away from the agenda, and I'm happy with it because we're having a proper conversation here. Okay, so Stanley said, as a newbie in the field, how can you be able to differentiate between hands-on training and just certification training? Okay, should I go for that first? I see hands-on.
Is the question for the newbie?
I think that question was for you,
me,
because it came while you were talking.
Okay,
You
how
can
can
answer
I?
it, and I'll answer it as well.
Okay,
That's
good,
fine.
good. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm going to.
Yes.
How can you differentiate between hands-on training and just certification training? I think I give an example with the risk assessment, right? If I ask, if for example, right, there are things that because I've sat on interviews, right, and trust me, I have one policy. I don't expect you to know everything on the job. If you can even answer 50% of the questions with examples, you are good, right? You also have a good head on your shoulder. We're trainable. We are all learning, we are all humans, right? So if you ask, sometimes you ask questions, right? The way they may be wrong, but the way the things that they say, pick, we have this we have this lingo in cybersecurity, right? Some people turn interviews to conversations. Then you know that this guy is already there. So for example, if I ask someone, how do you do, incident response? Because how do you respond to security incident, right? I'm not asking you to define incident response for me. Identification, containment, eradication, lesson learned, that's definition. I want someone to actually give me an incident to say, okay, I experienced a DDoS, you understand? Then I'll be picking things like that. Or you can be saying things like even mentioning security policies. Like I used the state 161, then I know that this person, I can pick that this person, because this is certificate training is not teaching you all that. They just give you definitions, or they will I've done a lot of exams in my life. They will just say between 4 options, which which steps is not in an incident response plan. Then you start looking at, okay, this one get certification on this one, and you pick the exam and you pass, right? So I can differentiate in the sense that when you ask people questions, they define a lot. You know that this person most probably just pass on exams, and somebody is giving you an example of how they do things, and you know that this person was actually on the job, right? How do you get the example? The example, not all of us have responded to incidents before. Some people might be lucky to say they've not responded to incidents before. For example, I've had someone say he hasn't been in any any security incident before, but the person said that we have an incident response plan should in case we have an incident. That's a good answer. That's a good answer, right?
Shows that you've seen it on the job one
Yeah,
way or
so
another.
yeah, it shows that okay, you've seen on the job that we have on our policies, we have incident response plan. So that's a good answer, right? How do you get all this thing? It's through hands-on training, because hands-on training is even conversational, right?
Yes.
You have somebody giving you the experience. Somebody is trying to transfer his years of experience into you guys, right? You have to do your job yourself and digest it and put yourself in it. Then learn the thing and know that, okay, if it comes up, I think of Doc Mutar somewhere and say, okay, this guy, I don't tell you about this before. Then you put yourself, replace yourself with Dr. Mutar and say, I'm the one that did it. Nobody's going to ask you to like what Tutu said. Nobody's going to ask you to prove it. Say it.
Absolutely.
You understand?
I just had something I don't know if you still want to say something.
No, yeah, I think that answers the question. I don't know if Stanley.
Yeah, I'll just add something to what you said. One of our people that actually just landed the compliance manager said, what I took everybody's answers from the interview prep session. And any question I get, I think about what doctor said that, but it looks like this was a good answer, and that's what I'll just take to the interview. Exactly. So she just picked responses from other people, and she used that to pass our interview. She got a compliance manager again. Just to answer your question, I see Bamshi's and enthusiasm, but before, and there's so many things in the chat. But before I allow them to speak, I'll say to start this question as a newbie in the field, how can you be able to differentiate between hands-on training and just for certification training? What I say to you is, you see people say, "Oh, this is a $500 training. This is a 1.5 training," and you don't get to speak with anybody before you join them. See, it's maybe not the best thing because you don't really know what you're getting into. It's not what you see on the website may not be sufficient. You want to talk to someone, know what the curriculum looks like. The promise can be great, but what are you really getting into? You want to know. When they sell you, and they can sell you on value, which is good, which we all do, it's part of sales, but you actually want to know what you're getting. If they're saying, oh, our curriculum is based on security plus, our curriculum is based on CISA, that's a certification training. That's most likely a certification training. But let them walk you through. How would this be? What projects are you getting on? Is there going to be a project? The topics we'll treat, is it going to be based on projects? Will I get a chance to do something? Then okay, that's more practical. That's where you want to be.
Then you can speak to alumni as well, right? Referrals, people that have gone
Oh,
through the training.
yes. Testimonials
Yeah,
request to speak, to speak with alumni. Absolutely, I agree with you.
and
I
also
agree with you.
they should go to the training with the right mindset. Because I've
Yes.
seen people that they want to get into training, they will ask you. I don't do training for some reasons because I'm so occupied, right? But people come to you and say, I want to do this training. Will I get a job after the training? I said, your trainer is not a hiring manager. Your trainer is not, it doesn't have organizations to hire you. So the question of
Yes.
will you get a job after the training? I can't answer that. But to get any kind of job, you need training, right? So it now depends on you too. So you see a lot of training that tells you that after this training, automatically you get a job, run away. But after this training, you get the knowledge to possibly get a job, then go for that training, right? So it's the mindset that you are taking to the training really matters. So it's not on your trainer, it is on you, it's on both of you. But the trainer will only tell you, then you do the job as well, right? So I think the mindset really, is really matters.
It's
You
very
say,
important.
will I get a job automatically? If you're going to university, are you going to telling your dean or your VC to say, will I get a job after I graduate? No, right? But you need that to be able to stand out, right? So it depends on.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you. So, Felix said, where can I get hands-on training? Felix, today if you can put the link to our consultation call in the chat, so we can have a consultation with you to get to know your background and see if we can take you on for our next cohort. That's what we offer. Ours is job readiness training. We focus on getting you job ready, preparing your profile, preparing you for interviews as well. Okay, let me take Pamishe. I know you've had your hand up. It must be aching now, so let me take it.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim. And I guess I wanted to respond to the questions in the chat, which I think you and Dr. Hassan has touched on many things already. I just wanted to mention that and using Marshall Tech as an example, I mean, the first thing you really want to do is to understand the curriculum. And another question is, do you even understand what kind of curriculum you should be looking for as a newbie? I bet not. So you really want to probably talk to the training firm first to understand what does that curriculum, what will it do? And of course, also to be very careful in the promises that they made, like Dr. Hassan said. In getting a job out of this training, it's largely dependent on you, really. But it's important to have a consultation session to really, really understand what that training offers and to see whether it aligns with your overall objective. One of the things that I know that Marshall Tech does is they would look at your experience and then they will be able to tell you how you can come in. And with rich faculty, I mean, these are industry leaders, which you would also benefit from. The training style, it's not to just pass exam, it's actually experiential. There are projects that you do, which is hands-on. So I would encourage anyone that is looking at where to start from. I mean, Marshall Tech, it's like a go-to that I would recommend. At least listen in, hear what they have to offer, and then you'll be able to make a good decision. But generally, you want to know that it's largely dependent on you to make anything out of this space.
Thank you so much. Should I take Tochi? I don't know whose hand came up first. Tochi, please go ahead, and I'll take Celia.
Okay, so what I want to say is I'm saying this to help some people that may need help. I'm not gonna mention names, right? But what I'm gonna say is no, I'm not mentioning names because I know you don't like me to mention name. Is that when someone is just focused on running ads everywhere, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and they're telling you you're going to get 6-figure job in 60 days. And then they're like every time they're doing free seminar every time. It's not once in a month, like every time they're doing master class every time. And then you come to the class, and they finish talking and they tell you, this is the value for what we are giving you. And for today, if you pay today, you are going to get so. And there's a time limit. You need to pay now. Like that urgency. There is a reason for that urgency, right? That urgency is there because they know they can't defend what they are promising. That's why that urgency is there, right? And you never get to talk one-on-one with the trainer. It's always in a meeting, crowded with people. And after that, even when you are with them, you never get to talk with them. And they don't tell you anything about certification and all that. And then once you're in there, they're like, when you're ready for certification, come and meet us. Some of them, they won't tell you that that's what they want you to do. They'll put it like they're going to train you, this and this. And once you go in there, next thing they are telling you, when you're ready for certification, come and meet us. So what's me, I feel like for a program that actually has a one-on-one consultation, it shows you that not just after the money, right? It shows you that they want to be sure that you have the mindset, like you're someone that would do well in the space, right? Because they don't want to spoil their reputation. Because no matter what, in every business, the customers are your best bets, right? How well you treat your customers will determine how long or how well your business will go ahead. And I'm telling you, some of these people have testimonials, right? Some of them have testimonials. I don't know if the testimonials are real or not. I don't know if they're real or not. But for the fact that you come to a training and you see people that have gone through the training, they speak, they show their face. It's not just a screenshot of the message they sent. Thank you so much for what you did. Your cost, you should even be charging people more than what you're charging. It's not so money centered.
There's something they call indicator of compromise. Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure Doc know what I'm talking about. So there are indicators that this is just a bluff. Right? There are indicators
Exactly.
because nobody promises. The only thing you can promise in training is that I'll give you the right knowledge, right? Anything after that, if you're promising anything after that, it's an indicator that you are overselling what you're not supposed to. Of course, most of these trainers are used for.
In fact, they even promise you that they would help you apply for jobs.
Yeah, enough
and then
fairness.
when you get in, you see like training on how to connect with a VA.
Enough fairness to anybody, conducting trainings. These guys are giving their time, right? Their time for you, right? And we are in Canada, right? Nobody has time. Even on weekends, nobody has time. You are preparing for what you want to do on Monday. Someone is calling you, especially in the cybersecurity space. You can get called anytime. Anything can happen, right? So these guys are giving you a time but it is not ethical, right? Security-wise, we have ethical practices in security as well, right? It is not ethical to promise someone a job after training. You can only tell them, I will train you, you have the right knowledge, but it depends on you, right? So if you train someone and the person put in the right attitude, apply for the right job, get back, ask questions. There's nothing shameful about, I don't know this. The only stupid questions are the ones you never asked. Right? And don't want to be doing things that will cause business disruption because you can't ask questions. So ask questions, right? Once you ask the questions, and you get the right attitude, you get into the space, be open. Don't just, because you see people where I can't just be saying things, right? You see people that, they go through interviews, they answer the questions, and you ask them with all the things that you've said, right? How much do you want to earn? And this person is jumping at maybe 180, 170. You like, how? Where are you? Where did you get all this from, right? Because if someone commands 180, you will know the person. Even you get the person on the interview itself, the person will know. You understand? But somebody is struggling around defining, and says, "I can't get less than. I don't want less than 180." You know that this person may have gone through. I'm guessing. Don't quote me. May have gone through some sort of training that says after 1 month, You can this is what you get. You understand? So it's better to, for my opinion, especially even when I was in school, right? I know peers, I will advise, let's take Nigerian University, for example, Nigerian University system. If I have a little one and the parents are, financially, averagely, financially okay, financially stable, I will advise that child to either to go to a private university than go to a public university. Right. Why would you say that? Because I would say private universities have limited number of students in the class. You're about maybe 50 or 60 in the class. You have direct one-on-one with your lecturers. They know you know them. Then go to maybe, sorry to say, ABU or Unilorin. If you go to any of those universities, they are good universities, but they're about 200 in a class, right? How these people are humans. People training you are humans. How do they want to have one-on-one with all of you reasonably? It's only people that are just, exceptionally pushing hard in their class that, I've seen lecturers that talk to the only students in front of their class. They can't shout. Those guys are old professors. They can't even shout to get to the top of the class. So same thing applies to training. You get to a boot camp, you have 200 people, 150 people. They are good salespeople. They've sold you things. You go to a training, they're about maybe 30 people, 20, 30, 15, 10. You know the quality of that training. You know that this is quality. If I raise up my hand, we are about 20 in this meeting. This is not a training, right? We're about 18 in this meeting. But Doc has been able to say, okay, Tochi, your time. Okay, Francis, your time. Okay, Tutu, your time. He has touched everybody that actually raised up their hand, except you didn't raise up your hand, right? So imagine if we are about 100 in this meeting, for example. The screen will not even, some people will be raising their hand somewhere. You won't see everybody. You have to go to page 2 or page 3 or page 4 to pick up the person, right? So you can see how that is and all of that. But hands-on, you can't beat hands-on, right? But the work is still on you. Then expectations, cut your expectations.
Absolutely.
Reduce your expectations, right? We are in the field, right? They promise 6-figure job, 1 million jobs. Well, reduce your expectations. The need for cybersecurity professionals is there. Agreed. It is there. And the need will keep increasing. We can see just last week, 2 giants. No before CrowdStrike. No before was infiltrated. Security awareness training platform. It's a security tool solution. No before. They got infiltrated. CrowdStrike got infiltrated. Our CrowdStrike didn't follow normal processes.
They did their own thing.
Probably they didn't do testing before you push any update to production. You have to do tests. This is CrowdStrike.
That's the risk.
Yeah.
Every time I use the post-incident review, initial process, I can just keep laughing. Come on, just
they didn't go through change management before they do this update and all of that. So it's a process. It's a process issue within CrowdStrike, and they brought a lot of things down. These are security giants having issues. So that's to tell you that the need for security professionals, the need for people that know, and the person that will tell you to go through process, man, is not supposed to be even technical. You have a bug, you have a code, you want to push the code. Have you tested the code on some system to see the impact of that code before you push it out to production? It's a simple thing. You don't have to be technical about doing that, right? But they failed to do that. Look at what happened. So the need is there, but people should call an expectation. People should know that, okay, I'm going to this thing to get the mindset. People should get people that actually have the knowledge. They've done these things and they can get friendly. They can get one-on-one with your mentor. Let me call it mentor. I don't like to use the word. Some people are trainers, right? Some people are mentors, right? I would like to see Doc. I would like to see Doc as a mentor, right? With the way he does. This is not the first. This is not the first meeting I've attended. The last one the last one we did was the one I actually said you are doing 5 years or so. I said you should do giveaway. If you remembered, I was going to ask you for giveaway. If you remember that time, right? So I've been anything discussion I joined, right, to see. So I see people as trainers, I see people as mentors. I think it's better to go with a mentor because even on the job, you still run to these guys and say, how far? What is happening in your own environment? How far? I'm running into this issue. How far? And then you learn every day because security is not going anywhere. But get the hands-on training, go in with the right mindset, prepare your resume, know your resume. Don't bullshit. I'm sorry to use that word, but don't lie. It puts you in a bad light, right? If you've not done something,
very important.
Say you've not done it, or say you want to try, and let us know we are trying to conversation, but don't say I've done it and be saying you're asking someone what DLP tool have they using. They're mentioning Wireshark. You know that no, how, right? So, go with the right mindset, get the right training, and build a community. Let your mentors hold your hands, and reduce expectations, and you will grow on the job, right? If you start telling you how much you started in security was not even a thing, right? It was just I was a network person. Yeah, I was a network person working with firewalls. Finish. That was my role.
You shared a lot of valid things that you got to you start talking about there are trainers and instructors, there are mentors, there are
Yeah,
coaches,
mentors. Yeah. So
I just laughed because in our program we don't have instructors, we don't have trainers, we have coaches and mentors. The people on the program already can tell you we have coaches and mentors. They are not just there to show you and hold to show you how the work is done. They are there to support you every step of the way. Right. So
the quality of, I'm sorry to cut you. I'm sorry. The quality to preserve the ethical part of the profession, because I love security. I'm in it for, you understand. So to preserve the ethical part of the profession, I advise people, please go to mentors, because you are saying the field is getting saturated with people just going to Bitcoin and just buying up, and so it is not even safe, right? When you churn out people that don't even know what they are doing into the profession, and people are relying on you, right? So advise people go to the right people. Just cut down your expectation. Leave, you will get there, but go to the right someone that can actually tell you that this is it, this is it, this is it, and don't bullshit your way through. Write your resume, tailor your resume, as long as you can explain what you wrote on your resume.
100%.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate that. You touched on something which is kind of what we're supposed to go to next. But I will you touched on don't lie on your resume.
No,
Don't lie on your resume.
I said
it's a very, very big thing.
Yeah.
I saw a resume recently. The person we both laughed about. I was like, how did this happen? Oh, they did it for me. I didn't do it. It's okay. We are not using this.
Yeah, don't lie. Yeah, don't lie. No, you can tailor your resume, right? But tailor your resume and
adaptation is different from lying, and that's exactly what you are saying.
Yeah.
So you can adapt your project. You can adapt the things you've done.
Yeah.
You can speak to what you've done using the right lingo, but it has to be what you've done, the journey you've been through yourself. Don't lie about it.
I've seen a resume that somebody is listening technical skills, and it was listing Windows 7, 8, and the person actually listed Windows 12 on the resume. Windows 12, right? Of course, the resume will pass. Yeah, the resume will pass 8 years, and but where is Windows 12? We are just at Windows 11. Right?
Exactly.
So that maybe it's GTP resume, and the person did not probably proofread the resume.
People not proofread exactly, and did not even adapt it
and just left it there. Right.
Dr. Hassan, is it not after 11 you count 12? What are you saying?
You said what?
Is it not after 11 you count 12?
Is it not what?
Sorry, I didn't hear that, Francis.
I said, is it not after 11 you count 12? What are you saying?
After what? 11, okay, after 11 you count
12. After 11 you count 12.
But the 12 is not here yet, right? Someone said the person's in the future, right? So
oh goodness.
We need to be careful, and entry level. You have the right mind, and I've seen people who have the right mindset, get in the space, get the job. This is easy, but if you work with the right mentors that can hold your hand and build the right network, and even referrals, referrals work. People can speak to you, right? I've seen people get job because somebody said, somebody said, like, let's say maybe Doc knows someone that is working in an organization and said, this person is new, but I trained the person. Then the other says, okay, since you train the person, I will take the person.
Absolutely.
You understand? So, people look at, for example, let's say you train 10 of us, and 10 of us have already gotten jobs different places. Of course, he trained us, he's still our mentor, right? Gotten jobs to your places. We are doing so well, we've moved to leadership role. Now, because I believe you've done 5 years, so for you to do 5 years in this, you are getting bigger, right? So let's say you now have new set of mentees, and Tutu in one organization. The organization is hiring, and you speak to this person is new, right? I train the person, but can do the job. even if it is not the one I hired, you can speak to a director and say, okay, the same person that trained, I know person that can do this role, same person that trained me. Can I refer the person?
Yeah.
Refer the person has actually gotten to the interview stage. The person that said, okay, since Tutu can do, because we give sometimes in an organization, I go to an organization, I see Nigerians doing well. I was like, okay, very good. We give ourselves that culture to say, I've seen a director that said, you Nigerians, you guys are hard workers. I like comments like that. To say, you understand? Say, okay, you guys are hard workers. So I like comments. I say, okay, this is good. So they're already looking at you with some kind of positive vibes. It's now left for you to just take an extra step and don't mess the good thing other people have done up. So just build the right network, keep an open mind, and prove that okay, just keep learning, know the tools, not know all the tools, because of course tools change. These guys buy themselves, Cash could buy this, person will buy this, and the name will change and all of that.
Concept of our tools. Know how it's done, not just the
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, Doctor, let me just take it from you. I know, Celia, you've had your hand up. I don't know if you still want to say something. And I see Tutu's hand up. I want to take those two before we move on to, because Dr. Hassan touched on where we're going next.
I'm sorry for taking your time, right? It's
absolutely fine. I'm fine with it. I don't know if everyone else is, but I'm fine with that. Celia, do you still want to say something, or have you touched on what you wanted to say?
Yeah. People have touched on what I want to say, but one thing that I think that is missing is asking them to show you. Some will tell you, I will help you with your LinkedIn optimization. Show me your LinkedIn. People come on consultation calls and you ask them, do you have questions? And they say no. Before you go on consultation calls, prepare your questions. And when they're telling you, oh, we do this, we do that, can you show me? Can you show me, you have a platform where you're keeping where your students are. Can you show me the list of those students? Maybe you can pick someone's name randomly that you've done LinkedIn optimization for. Check those people's profile and see what they've done for those people. Apart from, check their own profile, check their websites, right? It's not just what they are showing you on the call. Take something out of that call that's outside that you can check, settle down, sit down and do your research and search those things that they've showed you to make sure it's true. So prepare your questions and ask them to show you, not just talk before you get on any training.
If you're going into a consultation call like that, the idea is you want to make sure that you can trust these people, right? You don't want to put your money where you can't be sure what you're getting, right? So, okay, I'm going in this. I want to see if I can trust these people. That's what you're going for. So please ask questions. Thank you. Tutu, please take, you can talk.
Awesome. Thank you to everyone that has spoken. Doctor, I forget what his name is.
Hassan.
Yeah, Dr. Hassan. I'm a huge fan now. No, I'm very grateful for this opportunity, because a lot of the time when, like I said, I've seen other like boot camps that really just try to get you to the finish. They just try to get you feeling like you know what you're doing, but you don't really know what you're doing, right? And I can't overemphasize the importance of having mentorship as opposed to just trainings. Mentorship is very important because it's almost like someone that is more focused on the holistic aspect of your career, as opposed to not even of your career, but of you as a person, of like improving you as a person, that they're invested in your progress, your life progress, because any good mentor isn't just like your mentor. Like, they're not just in one aspect of your life. 9 times out of 10, you can basically talk to them about anything. So what I really appreciate about this program is, and I saw in the chat, like people were asking, oh, so how would I be able to, like, where would I go basically for, a hands-on as opposed to just the training sort of boot camp? Like I said before, if you are asking those questions and you're in the room right now, this is the best place to be, in my opinion. And I've spoken to other people from other trainings, other boot camps that ended up here, because they didn't really get what it is that they were looking for, which was at the end of the day, a job, right, in the field. They didn't really get what it is that they were looking for through the other meetings or through the other trainings or boot camps that they've been through. But here, I'm telling you, it really is a holistic view of trying to, of a holistic approach to getting you into the industry, because it's not just like Celia was saying, it's not just your LinkedIn that has to look good, your resume has to look good. Like, they take your whole being and transform you into what it is that you actually are trying to be. And then again, it's not just that part of it, but they also help you develop the confidence in yourself, because nobody else is going to do the interview for you. You're doing the interview by yourself. So it's important to have that self-confidence to know that you have the skills. So they would have taught you the skills, but they would also basically inject that confidence in you for you to understand that, yes, you can do this by yourself. And they would have given you the skills, the knowledge, everything that you need, the approach to get into that interview room and shine. It's not easy. It's almost like it's your family that does that for you, that gives you that confidence in yourself, if you have the right group of people around you. But having the right group of mentors is another level of like self-confidence that I can't overemphasize, in my opinion. So if you're questioning, okay, where should I go? What should I be doing? Who should I be talking to? And you're in the room right now, you're in the right place. Just I think they've posted the link a couple of times. Jump on that and get your money. Not just that, but like get your career. Like get the career that it is that you're actually looking for. So that's, again, not a paid ad.
Of course,
Thank
and
you
you can
so much.
also, okay, I'm sorry, not a player, but you can also, you are the ones, because I believe we are prospective security professionals in this room, right?
Yeah.
So where it's just 20 of us, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands out there, right? You can also, tell people that are not opportune to be in this room, to tell them, I went to a meeting or a discussion, this is what people feel. This is what they feel about boot camps. This is what they feel about hands-on training. Just get the message out there and, clean up the space. I'm advocating for security professionals general. Just clean up the space and just let them know what they need to do, right? You need hands-on training, you need mentor. Regardless of whatever, there are a lot of parts in security, right? But I like to look at, I like to look at the GRC guys as superior. I'm a technical person, right? I'm a technical person. I spent my life in IT. I have a PhD in computer engineering, right? And I like to stay technical, but over my years in security, most of the guys that get to CISO level are GRC people.
Interesting that you're saying that.
Yeah, most of the people that get to
Thank God, I have a shot.
That's like saying that because a lot of
people that get to CISO level. Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm jealous, right? But
nothing. It's not technical. So
it's not people that get to many is not technical. I'm jealous, right? But me, my technical self is
That's
not
technical. But you still need you still need the knowledge of technology, right?
You need to understand. Yeah, it's a different. It's a different discussion, right? It's just.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Discussion. I'm just saying, for regardless of the parts you want to take, application security, pen tester, whatever part, just know that you need a mentor, right? But if you are not technical and you want to go far, then go to GRC. But some of us are just taught to being technical, right? So it's just. Absolutely. Then I have this PTSD from my PhD experience. I hate documentation, right? So. And you do a lot of that in
I can imagine. You've done about 120,000 words.
Yes, you do a lot of that in GRC, right? So, but get the word out there, clean up the space. Be an advocate in security as well. Clean up the space and say these guys are just doing boot camp, they're just passing exams. These exam people, CompTIA, EC Council, these guys are into business as well, selling a lot of people, buying the exams, paying the exams, and all of that, right? Later, a lot of people will have certifications that you confuse the hiring managers. It will be skill for the hiring manager to even hire the right people, right? How do you want to stand out? I think, is it really out to mention that staying competitive in a competitive environment and standing out in a non-competitive environment, it's a skill on it's a skill on its own.
Absolutely, 100%.
So I promise to shut up. Won't say anything again. So
All right, thank you so much. And I posted the link to our consultation call. I just want to say something about that. Read what is there. It says, we'll make you job ready for a 6-figure cybersecurity career within 12 weeks. But it also will get you a 6-figure cybersecurity job in 12 weeks. There's a difference. And I'm sure you've all seen a lot of adverts. And you will see probably see our own adverts there. There's something about that. We are interested in building you a career. We're not saying, oh, you must get a job, and there's a process to it. And that's what we're walking you through. And I guess that's what Tutu was alluding to earlier. Say, the interest is in the full package. It's not, oh, get a job. You can get a job and not stay on that job if you don't know how to do it. You can bullshit your way, you can get referrals or whatever. There are so many ways people can get jobs. But can you build a career? We've seen someone come to us and say, oh, there's another company I'm talking to, and they said they will get me a job and then I'll pay them 10% of my salary for whatever, 6 months. And if you want to do that, that's fine. But what if you lose that job? Or what if you want to leave that job in the next 2 years or even in the next 6 months? If it's not the right job for you, you can't, because you don't have the confidence, because you didn't get it the first time. They probably sit in the interview for you, make it seem like they're the one talking. You don't do that, right? What can you do after that? You will never be the confidence like that. But if you go through that journey with us and holding you, mentoring you, coaching you through the steps, that's a different conversation. That's a different journey entirely. There's something I want us to touch on before, and I'll read the chat, the things in the chat. How do you, again, I don't have the money. I can't take trainings. I want to go on this journey myself. How can you build work experience? It's something I want us to touch on. What makes up work experience in this space? I think I want us to touch on that before the end of our sessions. So Tutu wants to be a CISO. Beautiful. Abiola. Okay. You joined late. Thank you for joining. So let's talk about that for a few minutes before we end it. And I'm happy to stay a little bit over time. What makes up work experience in cybersecurity? Is it okay? Go ahead.
Okay. So I think I mentioned before that like your work experience doesn't have to be paid experience, right? It doesn't have to be paid experience. It doesn't even have to be experience at a job. It can be experience that you got from your trainings. So from either trainings in the boot camp or trainings that you've done by yourself. So that's part of the reason why we're saying that getting into this particular field, it takes a lot of self-study. You have to continue, you have to be someone that likes to learn. You have to be someone that's inquisitive. So work experience in total, going into this field saying that you have work experience can be, well, from your previous roles. It can be from what you learn in the hands-on training that you're doing. It can be what you learn from your mentors. It can be what you learn from your own self-study. So whatever it is that you're doing to improve yourself, to improve your skills, all that makes up your own work experience. And again, remember how you frame it, right? So if you're framing it in the right light, if you're framing it as I worked on this particular project, I wrote these particular documents, things like that. I wrote, even if it's a business, if you're in business analysis and you're good with writing documentation, you'll be great in GRC. Absolutely. As Dr. Hassan was saying, if you know that you have that skill, again, frame it in the right way and put yourself out there with your technical skills, put all of that together. That makes up your work experience that you can put on a resume and boldly speak to because you've already done it. Anything that you've done, even the customer relations side. Like I said, I started out in the call center. So I started out talking to people a lot. So that teaches you how to interact with people, because when you get in the field and you're working, you have to deal with technical people. You have to deal with non-technical people. How do you explain what the problem is, or how do you explain what the solution is to technical and non-technical people, because you have to explain it to both people, to both groups of people. That in itself is a skill set, right? So how do you frame that skill? How you frame that skill on your resume speaks a lot to what you're going to be doing on the job. So anything that you've done, any aspect of yourself that you're confident in, frame it properly, and that counts as work experience.
100%.
You miss out the part. You miss out that part that says, "I'm sorry, speak to a mentor," right? You want to get. You've been doing a lot of things in your life, except maybe you are doing, labor, burger flipping, and all of that. But if you've been in admin role, any kind of role, banking role, any kind of role at all, and you want to see how your work experience matches what the skill they need in cybersecurity, first thing, speak to a mentor. Speak to a mentor that has been in the field for several years. Pour out everything, tell them everything you're doing from point A to that point. I believe the mentor that has a lot of experience in cybersecurity can pick out things that you don't and help you, frame it to say, these are the experience you have. This is in security, want to tell you, this is what you've done, this is what you can transfer. Then they can start training you on other things. But speak to a mentor first, tell them what you've been doing. I believe everybody must have done one thing or the other, but they don't know how to frame it. But you can't know how to frame it unless you speak to someone that has been in the field and say, okay, this is what you have done, this is what you have done, this is what you have done. I believe that answers the question. Doc can have
Thank
to.
you, Dr. I'll just speak to that now. So there are two ways you can either do it yourself, which is the longer route, because again, it will take a lot of trial and errors to figure it out. Or exactly what Doctor said, speak to a mentor who has seen it and done it before you, because they can see what you can't see.
Exactly.
So absolutely.
Exactly. They can see what you can't see. So thank you for helping me with that.
Absolutely. Now I want to share something real quick. I don't know if there's anyone from our match cohort here. We've had a chef, which you would, for those that understand how we take people on, we would ordinarily not take on the chef in our program, but we did because it kept coming back. And
a chef.
Yes,
I'm interested, please.
On our program, we would ordinarily, because we focus on people with certain backgrounds, right?
Well, that's interesting.
Yes, he kept coming back and insisted on taking it, so we took him on. And and interesting thing, the first time I spoke with him after he enrolled, and he had already attended maybe two classes, and he said, "Doc, I can see cybersecurity in my job." I said, "How?" And then he walked me through a company he worked with that lost a contract because of non-compliance. They lost a multi-million contract because of non-compliance, and it was part of that remediation. And he walked me through. I was like, okay, there we go, we're talking. And how did he get to that point where he could that experience? And so it was there. It's not something he was thinking of. But because he had gone through the sessions, then he already started thinking from the position of an experienced person. Say, okay, this is how I pick up my experience. That's how he got to that point. He works at Google now.
I didn't see that. Actually, you are 100% correct. I didn't see that coming. I was just like a chef, right? But there are a lot of things.
We had that conversation. Like, that's something. But yeah, that's where mentorship can help you a lot. Tutu, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, like, I don't think any experience, like, and I'm glad that there was someone that's actually like a chef that was in there. It really just depends on how you think about what it is that you're doing. If you're thinking about it as there's nothing that you cannot see, that you cannot think of, like, no, there's no job that you cannot see the cybersecurity in.
Absolutely.
I feel there's no job, because even if it's like you were saying, flipping burgers. I think Dr. Hassan was saying flipping burgers.
Yeah.
Flipping burgers takes hand-eye coordination. It takes, like, especially if you work in fast food. If you've ever worked in fast food, you're juggling several things at the same time. That in itself is a skill that not a lot of people have. Like, there are people that crumble under pressure. But being able to manage different machines, and plus those things are like you're dealing with like hot oil and things like that. If you can manage all those things and not get hurt, even if you get hurt, like, you know how to
Experience
to
in
follow
everything.
due process, to report
Yeah.
it, because if you get hurt, you're supposed to report it. There's a process around that. In fast food, there's a process around reporting what it is that what happened. Everybody has to write a report, like your manager writes a report, you write a report. All of that already, that's cybersecurity, right? Like writing reports and stuff, that's a skill you can use in cybersecurity.
Yeah,
So
it's
it
a
really
skill
just,
that's
it's a
documented.
skill that is definitely transferable. So whatever it is that you're doing, like DML said, it's just a matter of looking at it in the right, like through the right lens, and then you can see how you can frame it and put it on your resume. So no job, like literally anybody that's saying that they don't have experience, you just don't have the right perspective. You
Okay,
need the
you
right
have to-
perspective.
I think I agree with you. This is what I
What-
said. This is what I said earlier when I started in this call. Like, we keep learning every day. So
Absolutely.
I'm leaving this meeting with what both DML and Tutu have said, right? So I have a different perspective to it, but now I've seen a chair from a chef and someone that flips burgers, right? So
And you know the interesting thing, to be fair, to be honest, and I kind of align with you. The structure of our program wouldn't take someone that's currently flipping burgers, except that person has done something maybe from back home that ties back to this. Because you can look at our page and see. Now, with that said, I agree with Chuchu in terms of there's so many transferable skills, even when you're flipping burgers. But just going back to what Dr. Hassan said, when we started, personal development, that person would require a lot more training and practice than someone that is, for example, already in tech, someone that is already doing audit, even if it's tax audit, or someone that is already doing some of financial statements, accounting, which you can see financial audit in that as well. That person, because one, they probably don't understand the corporate environment yet. That might be a disadvantage starting out. But again, can they build that skill set? Yes, they can. And they will, depending on how committed they are to it. But is it possible? 100%. Do they have transferable skills? 100%. Would they need to do a lot of work? 100% they need to do a lot of work.
I agree.
So that's what I would say about that. Now, there's something I want to talk about. So let's say you're coming out of college, you don't have anything. Like it feels like you don't have, or you're running your own business, like someone said. One thing, and I put the link to my profile on my LinkedIn on in the chat. You can follow me or connect with me on there. I post regularly about work experience about cybersecurity. Now, you can actually build your work experience even from your home. I tell people your first cybersecurity experience should be your home network security. You securing your own perimeter. It's like you're securing any other organization. See your house as an organization. Build that project, work on it, audit it, find a mentor or a friend that's been in the industry. Let them audit what you've done. Package that, put it on your proof. That's your first experience. Do it for your friends, do it for your families. That becomes lots of, you can actually build years of experience doing that because you will realize that even houses are not made the same, just like organizations are not made the same, just like projects are not made the same. And you would be exposed to a lot of different things. So that's one way you can build experience that people have not looked at. Stanley, please.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody. Today has been very exciting. Then the question I want to ask, just like what, sorry, I don't know her name, the lady just said that you can be flipping burger. I want to ask, okay, for example, like one, just like I said, I've been in an engineering field. I've worked in a consultancy for more than 8 years.
Yeah.
When they bring results for tests that's been done, we will need to go through it. We need to audit it to ensure that the minimum requirements were met and also the processes were followed. Julie, you understand? So in this situation now, if I decide to put it in my CV, if I put the name of the company, it has nothing to do with an IT company. So how can one be able to now tie it now? Because I was talking with a friend of mine. He said his own is whether designer, something, IT analyst or something. But I just checked I checked all through mine has always been in civil engineering. So how will won't be able to tie his prior experience, because I know definitely I have transferable experiences, but how can I be able to coin it in order to suit the IT line.
Stanley, your
That's
best bet
where
is speak
right.
with DML. It can help you. That's just it. I think
Okay.
you have a lot of
Okay.
things that you don't know you have.
The house
Okay.
is a book session with us. Let's have a conversation. There's a lot you
Okay,
can do
thank you.
with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's a
Thank
lot
you.
you can
Thank you.
do. And you said a lot of things that just goes in the PRC space that should be pretty straightforward in my opinion. And see, anything you can put on your resume and pass background check, it tells you that you have a mind on your resume. If
Just
it's there and you know it will not pass a background check, or no matter how you do it, it will not pass a background check, what's the point? What's the point? Right?
just speak with someone that can help you. I don't suggest, I keep hammering this. I don't suggest doing it yourself, because you want to do something yourself and shoot yourself in the leg. It doesn't speak well of you. It doesn't look well of you.
Yeah, integrity matters.
Yeah, it matters. Speak with someone. I can see you do audit, you check reports and all of that. Those are things that, yeah, good. You have. But before you coin it, before you frame it, speak with someone that can help you. Speak with them and can help you. Okay, this is what you have. This is how you write it. And people understand that if you do it yourself and you shoot yourself in the leg, you come out and start quoting one Assam somewhere and say, this person says you do it yourself. So so it's better you speak with someone that can help you. Of course, you have. I think Doc will agree with me. You have that. But speak with someone that can sit you down and help you do it. And still the lingos, right? You can do transfer skills. There are lingos in security as well. You can have transfer skills, and if you're not in the space, you can't speak the lingo. Like if you're not in the country, if you're not in France, you may not be able to speak French. If you're not in Germany, you may not be able to speak German, right? But if you're in that space, if you're in that country, even if you're in China, if you stay there for 2-3 years, if you can't speak one sentence in Chinese or in Mandarin, you'll be able to pick certain words, right? So if you're not in space, you're not able to speak lingo. So there are lingos in PM, there are lingos in BA, there are lingos in security as well. That you are in the space, even if you are sleeping and waking up every day, you'll be able to pick the lingos, right? Absolutely. That's why I believe you need knowledge training first. Because in interviews, I've seen people say a lot of rubbish in interview, but they say lingos, they say things, and I was like, okay, this person may not necessarily know it, but this person have been working on that corridor, for a lot. Then you see interviewers helping them that you mean this, you mean that. They're saying different things, but they're speaking the lingo. Then someone can say, okay, is this what you mean? Then you pick. But if you don't understand the lingo, someone is asking you, they're saying different things, then they'll just want to go out.
And you can't know it all, right? You can't know
it all. Yeah, you can't know everything.
I remember an interview I had way back where we were talking about the 3 lines of defense. I was like, yeah, I know there are 3 lines, but I really don't know like the difference between them. The person looked at me, okay, do you know what this person does? I said, oh yeah, they do this. Okay, do you know what this one does? I said, yeah, they do this to do that. About this. Oh yes, I've been there, I've done this and that. Yeah, okay. But you don't know the 3 lines of defense. Oh yeah, that makes it. Sorry, I just forgot. That's showing that okay, this person has the knowledge, has an idea, but maybe there's something missing there. Can I help the person get over the line? I guess that's what the doctor was saying. And talking about domain knowledge, how that can, I was a part-time chef for 2.5 years in Old Trafford. And I've actually used that experience to get a cybersecurity gig, not the technical side of it, but my domain knowledge of the hospitality space. So that's another thing. So no experience is a waste. Whatever you've done, maybe you're a business owner and you're keeping your client data, you're protecting your client data, there are things you can use there too. Again, depending on the field. There are things you can use there too. So there are certain things, what I say to people is, no matter where you are, there's no such thing as zero security. There will be some security. It may not be documented, it may not be well done, but you have some things in place. And that is where if you are not on the job right now, another thing you can do for yourself, let's say you're going through a program like ours, another thing you can do for yourself is to let your manager know the journey you're going through. And then you become the security person within your team. You are not part of the security team, remember? You are not part of the security team. But you become the security expert within your own team. And I'm sure your team will probably touch base with security one way or another. And you become the person that interface with security. Or you're the one that will review processes to make sure that, okay, confidentiality, integrity, and availability is not impacted in one way or another. And so when it comes time for that background check, your manager is able to reference you for that. Is able to give you an experience letter covering security as part of your work responsibilities. That's another way you can do it easily. Again, so many things we can talk about, but I know we are already over time. Titi, you have something to say. Please go ahead.
Always. So, I actually, like, from personal experience, and I think DML, you've heard this story before. When I was applying for a job, I put my manager as a reference. And when I sent him my resume, he looked at it and he's like, I don't know if this is something that you've done, da 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 da. Can you explain to me? He was gracious enough to not just say no, but like he was like, can you explain to me how you've done these things? And so I went into detail, like on this project, this is what I did. On this project, this is what I did. Again, I wasn't, the field I was working in with that manager was not in cybersecurity, but I was looking for a cybersecurity role. So I had framed my experiences at that job in the light of cybersecurity. So when he read it initially, he didn't understand what it was I was talking about. So, but when I started explaining to him that by doing this, this is what I was actually doing. By doing this, this is what I was actually doing. By the time I went through the whole resume, he was like, oh, okay, I see what you mean there, because I had actually done the things I said I did. But because he's not in the field of cybersecurity, he didn't see it that way. To him, I just wrote a report. To him, I just verified some information. To him, but in cybersecurity, I did remediation. I wrote audit reports. I did, and so when I explained it to him, he understood it, and he agreed to be a reference for me. So it works in real life. I just wanted to say.
100%. So
Yeah,
100%.
Doc
And it's
mentioned
not
that.
just you.
Okay.
Yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
my hand is up. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Doc mentioned that in your team, just be the security person in your team. So that helps with the reference side. Once you're a security person in your own team and the time comes for you to reach out to your manager, your team member for reference, you can, the volunteer, the thing that you did, you can point to it and say, this is what I was doing, this is what I was doing. So I think Doc answers that. But I have a question now as a newbie, like how do you write, how do you write being flipping burgers or well, maybe different session. Maybe you want to do a different session on this. How do you write that? How do you write being a chef?
Again,
how do you write it on your resume? I mean, you're going to write title, the organization, year to year, and these are the job descriptions. How do you, word that? I think I have what I don't understand is the wording. How do you word that?
Interesting thing again, like I said, someone flipping burgers, except they have something else they were doing, will probably not make it into our program. Again, the chef had a compelling case and who could frame his own responsibilities as around being a compliance officer within the kitchen and all of that, because he was able to prove that.
Okay, so you can just put the title as change the title a bit as a compliance officer.
Yes, so when it comes time for background check,
thank you.
Whatever your actual title was, and the title based on the responsibilities, you can put them with a slash or in brackets. So that when they go back for a background check, whichever they come back with will still be fine.
Oh, okay. I think
so that's the way you're not lying, not hiding what you did. You're just saying, this was my title, but this is what I did. But on your resume being a marketing tool, your resume is not a contract.
Yes.
It's a tool to get you a foot in the door. Put a title that fits what you've done.
Okay, so you can put in like maybe
call you a PA, but you can be doing secretarial work.
Yeah. So you can put like maybe job title head chef and in bracket compliance officer, or compliance officer in bracket head chef.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that would be a good. I don't know how we find it. You remember back then?
Yeah,
maybe, I know you have your hand up.
I was a caseworker. Yeah, I even wanted to say the chef we're talking about, it was not actually flipping burger. It was
no.
I just came out. I don't want to be quoted.
The chef we're talking about was an actual sous chef, a real chef.
It was a real chef, and it was in senior position. It was involved more in a lot of things apart from just cooking. Yeah, I think
and that's why it was involved in compliance, remediation, and all of that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not that you are lying. You can put compliance officer
Mhm.
and in bracket head chef or head chef in bracket compliance officer.
Yeah.
Extra words. Well, I never thought of this. Extra words.
Yes, or slash, not even in
or
bracket,
slash,
could be
Or
slash.
slash, yeah,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even
yes.
bracket,
So I
yeah.
had the title innovation manager, and of course, you understand when you're doing product innovation, you're doing IPP, intellectual property protection, which is data protection, information security.
Mhm.
And today I would put information and security manager.
Which
That's
is
that. Of
the
course.
same thing, right? Yeah, English
Yeah.
is interesting.
So yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
So
I think the one you were asking about me and this past background check, I was a caseworker
yes, every time.
when I was still in the medical field, and we wrote caseworker in the brackets. I think we wrote data
So
protection
data protection specialist slash
specialist as
caseworker.
caseworker.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
then the job description was tailored to cybersecurity, not what I was doing as a key, because at the end of the day, I was still keeping my clients' information, but it was in a different field.
Yeah, medical field, that would be HIPAA, right? That would be HIPAA.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes,
exactly. So a lot of compliance, a lot of data protection, and as a caseworker, you are like at the top of protecting that. So
yeah.
she had every case, and I still remember when you had that offer and that the first background check you had.
I think, well, I think her case, right, is perfect because as a caseworker, HIPAA data, she's like a data user, right?
Yeah,
Under data privacy, under data protection
the
laws.
data protection.
Yeah, data
Yeah.
custodian, data owner. So she's a data user and she needs to, enforce.
And even the custodian as well.
The
yeah.
custodian as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that works. Now, but those ones are easy. They work easily, right? I'm just talking of the labor, the non, is it blue collar?
Like to be honest, there are some titles that I had to come.
Yeah, that's my point.
And not everybody would remember what we said about it's a process. Not everybody will start in a six-figure role in this field. It's a six-figure career path. There's no doubt.
You will end up, if you know what you're doing,
you will get there. But there's no crime in starting from junior level.
Yeah.
I always say there's no entry level in cybersecurity. But there's no crime in starting from junior level.
No. Yeah, thank you very much.
And you showcase 2 years of experience doing something related. Not the job title now, job responsibilities. Can you showcase the home project I talked about? Can you showcase a project you worked on a program like our program? On our program, you do like 2-3 projects. Can you showcase those projects? If you're in consulting or even in a private firm, you may end up working on one project a whole year, but you've done 2-3 projects. Right? Can you spread that across? Can you speak to those projects in an interview? Go get a junior level role. They know that you have some experience, you can express yourself, you can speak to what you've done, but you are not a senior level, you are not an intermediate, you're not claiming 5 years, you're not claiming 7 years. That's a different thing. Like these are two different things entirely. Start from entry level, junior level. I prefer to call it junior level.
Junior level, yeah, junior analyst.
Yeah, junior level. Let them pay you 60K, 70K to start. And then you grow. There's some titles that you can't, even if you want to, I'll say don't do it. Because it's hard to justify. You want I'll still go back to McDonald's. I'm sorry, nothing against McDonald's. Your supervisor, who doesn't even know how technology works, to come and reference you for a cybersecurity job, there's a good chance that they won't. There's a good chance that it will not fly, even from your HR point of view. Right? But then, can you get a job? Absolutely. It doesn't have to be 6 figures. It doesn't have to be those higher levels. So
even 6 months into junior level role or 6 months into junior role, that 6 months, you can from there you can get to senior level role, right?
100%.
You know a lot at junior, and to be fair, the junior guys, they are doing a lot. If you are going to they are the ones that are doing a lot. You get the knowledge that you need at that level. At a senior level, you just manage people. You do a lot of level 2 work. You manage people under you. Then, so if you are coming to this space as a new person and you are lucky enough to be at the senior level, you are lucky enough. But my brother, if you want to move from that organization to a different organization, can you defend that? But if you start a junior level with one organization, you can pivot into a senior to a different organization, and you can work with the knowledge that you have within 6 months. You know what you are doing. You can get that So there's no there's no shame in starting in junior. We all are starting at junior level. You understand? But and I always pick up that say, this is how I start in any interview. This is how I start. I started at an IT help desk with a PhD in computer science.
A lot of us that are in tech, we probably started like
IT help desk. That was it, right? But I learned a lot in IT. I learned servers, network, databases, things like that over there. Well, thank you. Now I'm living with the different perspective, right?
And we are like 20 minutes over time. I guess it's a safe space to end it. Thank you all for joining the session today. I've enjoyed it. We went off agenda, and I'm happy with that because I hope we all learned about building experience. The job title is not a big deal. It's not a factor. There are ways around it. Experience can be built even outside of paid work. Even in your current job, with the current job title, you can build your work experience. The best way to do it is to engage with people that have done it before. The first question is that person in the field? Has that person done what you're trying to do? Don't go in blind. It's very important. Thank you so much. We'll definitely be able to speak with you. And this session is recorded. Will be available we'll put it on YouTube, on YouTube, I think. Yeah, on YouTube. So I will make it available to those that have attended. Of course, once it's there, if you follow me on LinkedIn, we'll post it on LinkedIn to make you know that it's available. But those that are already in our program, we'll put it on our internal recording. You know where to go. So we'll put it on our platform, and you'll be able to watch it again if you want to.
So if you have other discussions coming up, right, on different topic entirely, how do I get lucky enough to just listen to learn one or two things, right? Then if you want to refer people to you, are we going through that link, right? To refer people to
right. So you saw the post.
Yeah, I saw the post.
You saw can you chat me on? Because that's my number.
Okay, sure.
I posted it there this morning. So can you chat me on, please?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. I'll do that.
Thank you. Anybody else, please connect with me on LinkedIn. A lot of the time I'm available on LinkedIn. I post a lot there. I engage a lot on LinkedIn. So we can chat. If you need to chat, if you need to book a call, you can book a one-on-one with me personally. You'll see the link to do that on LinkedIn. But if you use the link in the chat, you're either speaking with me, my wife, or some of our sales representatives. Right. But again, you're on good hands whoever you speak with. But if you want to talk to me, book a one-on-one with me on LinkedIn. That would be good. Happy to
drop
thank you
the
guys.
number on the chat also. If they want to chat with us on WhatsApp or even give us a call.
Okay. No, maybe not yet.
Not yet, okay.
All right. Yeah. Thank you all for
thank you guys. Thank you for the meeting. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Best of luck, everybody.
Thank you.